If you're managing Google ad campaigns in 2026 the same way you did 12 months ago, you're not just behind, you're probably wasting money. Google Ads has changed quite a bit in the last year. Some of it subtle, some of it pretty significant. We're inside Google Ads accounts every single day, and as a certified Google Ads partner, we take a forensic approach to what's actually changing. So we see these shifts in real time, not after they've already cost businesses money. So to help you, I want to walk through what's actually different and what that means for your campaigns right now. In case you didn't know, AI now runs your campaigns. Your job as a PPC manager has fundamentally shifted, and if you haven't adapted your skill set, you're going to struggle. Let's look at the 4 critical changes reshaping Google Ads in 2026. And I'll give you the exact framework we're using with our clients to stay ahead. First, let's address the elephant in the room. AI automation is no longer optional. It's how Google Ads work. Performance Max and the new AI Max for search aren't just campaign types you can choose. They're now the dominant way campaigns operate, and Google is aggressively pushing everyone towards these AI-driven systems. AI Max for search launched in May 2025, and by early 2026, it's become one of the fastest growing products in Google Ads history. It uses Gemini AI to automatically match ads to relevant queries, going way beyond anything you could manually target with keywords. Performance Max has been expanded with channel level reporting, and finally, negative keyword support. You can actually see which channels are performing now, but be aware, the AI is still making most of the decisions. So what does this mean for you as a PPC manager? Your value isn't in micromanaging bids or tweaking keywords anymore. Your value is in strategic setup and configuration. Think of yourself less as a campaign operator and more as an AI trainer. The most successful campaigns this year come down to 3 things. First is pristine conversion tracking, and we'll talk about that in a minute because it's more important than ever. Second is comprehensive asset libraries. You need multiple headlines, descriptions, images, and videos because the AI is constantly testing combinations. Feed it quality assets and it performs. You starve it and you lose. The third is smart exclusions and guardrails. This is huge. You can now exclude branded search terms for Performance Max. You can exclude existing customer lists, and you can add negative keywords to protect your brand. These controls didn't exist 18 months ago, and they're critical for keeping AI campaigns from eating your branded budget or targeting the wrong audiences. The skill that matters now isn't bid management, it's strategic campaign architecture, setting clear goals, providing clean data, and building the right constraints so AI can do its job effectively. The second massive change is how people actually search on Google. This has been completely transformed by AI overviews. If you haven't noticed, Google search results look dramatically different than they did a year ago. AI overviews, those AI generated summaries at the top of the search, are now live in over 200 countries and in 40 different languages, and they're absolutely crushing the click-through rates. Recent studies show that AI overviews now correlate with a 58% reduction in click-through rates for top ranking pages. Think about that. Position 1 in organic search used to get around about 7% CTR. Now, for queries with AI overviews, it's dropped to 0.6. Paid ads aren't immune either. Paid CTR has dropped 68% on informational queries when AI overviews appear. Google now advised that if you're running Performance Max or AI Max for search campaigns, you're eligible to appear within those AI overview results, integrated into the AI generated content itself rather than just sitting below it. They're essentially saying, adopt our automated campaigns and we'll give you preferential placement in the new AI-driven search experience. But what they're not saying is overall clicks are down and advertisers are paying more per click for less volume. So what do you do about this? Well, first, you stop bidding aggressively on high funnel informational queries. If your keywords are things like what is X or how to do Y, and you're seeing AI overviews show up, your efficiency is going to be terrible. Shift that budget to bottom of funnel for high intent commercial queries where people are ready to buy. Second, get ruthless about search term analysis, because with AI Max casting wider nets, you need to review search terms weekly and add negatives aggressively. Don't let AI waste budget on informational traffic that will never convert. Third, diversify your channel strategy. This is painful but necessary. Google search is not enough anymore. You need to be present on YouTube, display, demand gen campaigns, anywhere your audience spends time. The days of search-only PPC strategies are over. And there's something worth keeping an eye on. ChatGPT just started testing shopping ads in the US in January 2026. OpenAI has 800 million weekly users. If they successfully launch ads, and I think they will, we'll be looking at an entirely new advertising platform competing with Google. So start paying attention now, because those ads will likely expand internationally within the next 12 months. So the third critical shift is that accurate conversion tracking and first-party data aren't nice to have anymore. They're absolutely essential for campaign survival. Consent Mode version 2 rolled out in 2024. That's not news anymore. But here's what is news. The campaigns winning in 2026 have moved way beyond just implementing consent mode. Enhanced conversions and server-side tracking have transitioned from advanced tactics to a baseline requirement. Why? Because AI-driven campaigns like Performance Max and AI Max are only as good as the conversion data you feed them. So if your tracking is broken, if you're missing 30% of conversions because of iOS restrictions or ad blockers or cookie limitations, then the AI is optimizing towards incomplete data. So you're training it wrong. Server-side tracking solves this by sending conversion data directly from your server to Google servers, completely bypassing the browser. This can attribute 12% or 17% more conversions that would be otherwise lost. Enhanced conversions work by sending hashed first-party data like email addresses from your checkout form to Google, allowing them to match conversions even when cookies fail. On average, enhanced conversions attribute 5% more conversions on websites and up to 17% more on YouTube ads. Here's your action plan. If you haven't implemented enhanced conversions yet, do it now. Google Tag Manager makes this relatively straightforward, and the ROI is immediate. If you're serious about performance, invest in server-side tracking through Google Tag Manager's server container. Yes, it's more technical. Yes, it costs a bit more to host, but the data quality improvement is massive, and it future-proofs your tracking against ongoing privacy changes. And critically, audit your conversion actions. Make sure you're not double counting. Make sure the events you're optimizing towards actually represent valuable business outcomes. AI can't fix bad conversion definitions. Fourth and final change is how you measure success needs to evolve. Customer journeys in 2026 are insanely complex. Some might see a YouTube ad, then 3 days later, then click a Performance Max shopping ad, but then convert from a branded search a week after that. So which channel gets the credit? The answer is, it depends on your attribution model, and every attribution model is somewhat wrong because they're all simplified versions of a messy reality. Here's what I tell clients. Stop obsessing over Google ad metrics alone. Start focusing on business outcomes. Yes, you need to monitor return on ad spend and CPA and conversion rates in Google Ads, but those are diagnostic metrics, not success metrics. The real questions are, is overall revenue growing? Is customer acquisition cost sustainable relative to the lifetime of the value? Are your margins healthy? Is the business more profitable? We're seeing too many situations where Google Ads report 400% return on ad spend, but when you look at the business holistically, profit margins are shrinking because of rising costs and lower customer quality. Use tools like Google Analytics 4, GA4, to track the full customer journey. Look at the assisted conversions, not just the last click. Understand which campaigns are driving new customers versus just harvesting existing demand. And consider implementing marketing mix modeling or incremental testing. These approaches measure the true incremental value of your ad spend by comparing performance without specific campaigns running. And a bit controversial, but sometimes the best use of your ad budget is to pause campaigns and see what happens. If your branded search campaign disappeared and revenue barely changes, maybe you were just paying for the traffic you'd have gotten anyway. The mature approach to PPC in 2026 is treating it as one piece of a broader customer acquisition system, not as an isolated channel you optimize in a vacuum. So where does this leave us? Well, the PPC manager role has fundamentally changed. You're no longer a tactician adjusting bids and keywords all day. You're a strategist who architects campaigns with the right structure and controls so AI can operate effectively within defined boundaries. You're someone who ensures data quality through proper conversion tracking, enhanced conversions, and ideally server-side tracking, because clean data is what fuels AI performance. Someone who monitors and audits AI decisions by reviewing search terms, placement reports, and asset performance, then feeding that intelligence back into the system through negatives and exclusions and asset updates. You're going to have to analyze business level performance rather than just campaign metrics, connecting ad spend to actual revenue and profit outcomes. Test new features systematically, whether that's AI Max, Demand Gen, or eventually ChatGPT shopping ads, while maintaining a disciplined budget allocation. The campaigns that succeed in 2026 aren't the ones with the most manual optimization. They're the ones with the cleanest data, most comprehensive assets, and the smartest strategic guardrails. And managers who understand they're directing AI, not replacing it. So what does this all mean? If there's one takeaway from 2025 to 2026, it's that you must adapt or you'll get left behind. Google Ads is now an AI platform. Search behavior has changed. Data quality is everything, and your success depends on business outcomes, not the vanity metrics. The good news, if you embrace these changes, there's enormous opportunity. Most advertisers are still running campaigns the old way, and they're struggling. You can get ahead by focusing on what actually matters now. If you found this valuable, subscribe to the channel and drop us a comment. What's been your biggest challenge adapting to these changes? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.